Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll be right back with today's Tech Tuesday guest, but we want to give a shout out to our podcast partners, We Coach and the Global Community of Women in High School Sports. Two great organizations that you really need to be a part of. So check out the Global Community of Women in High School Sports and We Coach. And now let's hear from our podcast sponsors. We want to thank Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack for sponsoring the AD Toolbox segment of our regular podcasts. Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack are a quick, easy, and affordable way for you to collect comprehensive data that allows you to evaluate and improve your entire athletic program. At my schools, we use surveys for just about everything, for teachers, for coaches, for kids, and for parents. And the information that would come back was almost always over the top positive, and it'll be the same for you. But surveys also allow that squeaky wheel parent to vent a little bit. And sometimes they'll share a small issue that you can address and keep it from turning into a big issue because you didn't know about it, because you hadn't done a survey. Go to athleticsurveys.com or email them at info@athleticsurveys.com for more information. If you've never used a survey to take the pulse of your parents or your student athletes, you're really missing out. Talk to the pros at Athletic Surveys by Lifetrack and let them help you take your athletic program from good to great. We also want to say thanks to Final Forms, the industry leader in forms and registration, but they are so much more than that. Final Forms can help your stakeholders by providing reminders about policies, about physicals, and all the forms that come when you have an athlete in the house. Final Forms can help your coaches with things like attendance and communication. And for athletic directors, Final Forms can help you with eligibility, with rosters, and all the reports that come across your desk. It's time that you talk to a team that's walked in your shoes. To take the next steps, go to finalforms.com/Jake. That's finalforms.com/Jake to get started with Final Forms. We also want to thank Hudl. Go to huddle.com. Hudl is how the world sees sports. Over 200,000 teams use Hudl to help their athletes play better using video and analytics. As a football coach, I used Hudl for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure our school was a Hudl school, and our coaches just loved the smart cameras, the mobile apps. Of course, they love the analytics, but there's so much more. At huddle.com, you're going to find the tools to help your teams, your coaches, and your athletes play at their very best. And Hudl is going to provide a complete professional-grade solution to the challenges that you and your coaches face each day. At Hudl, we believe in sports, and teams believe in Hudl. Go to huddle.com and join the 6 million users and turn your school into a Hudl school. We also want to say thanks to Gipper. Go to Gipper.com and see how athletic directors and coaches are creating world-class marketing content for their school social media channels. You can do it in seconds on any device, and you don't need any design experience. Go to Gipper.com and tell them you heard about it on the podcast. Use our code ADPOD10. That's ADPOD10 and get 10% off. Gipper.com. Create custom-branded content for your school's social media channel. We also want to say thanks to Snap. Go to onsnap.com, that's onsnap.com, and check out their entire suite of platforms designed to help you as an athletic director do your very best. Snap Raise is their fundraising platform, and our coaches have used it for years with great success. There's even an option to get your money before you actually start your fundraiser. Snap Spend is their secure money management platform. Snap Store allows you to order custom spirit gear. Snap Connect is their multilingual family engagement platform. And Snap Manage will help you design an entire website for your athletic department. You can find it all at onsnap.com. That's onsnap.com. We also want to thank Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. Go to hometownticketing.com and they will show you how to set up and sell your tickets online. They'll show you how to scan the attendees that come to your games and collect your revenue. And every step of the way, you'll have a dedicated client success manager that's providing hands-on support. That's every step of the way. Go to hometownticketing.com. They'll also show you how to set up and sell tickets for things like school dances, your school plays and concerts, even graduation. You can find it all at hometownticketing.com. Simple and easy online ticketing. We also want to thank Sideline Interactive for their support. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and check out their indoor scoring tables and video boards. We've got a Sideline Interactive indoor scoring table in our gym, and it's just fantastic. We use it for games, of course, but we also use it for pep rallies, for signing ceremonies. It's tremendously versatile, and their customer service is just outstanding. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and schedule a live web demo and see their tables and boards in action. You can also email them at sales@sidelineinteractive.com to see exactly what their fantastic products can do for you. That's sidelineinteractive.com. We also want to say thanks to Wall of Fame by Vital Signs. You know, they're on a mission to bring your school's legacy to life. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school's record boards for all your sports or your school's Hall of Fame, go to vitalsignswalloffame.com and check out their interactive touchscreen video consoles and their library of templates, which will help you recognize the athletic achievements of your students, both past and present. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. Let them help you showcase your school's diverse history and your proudest moments. You can also email them at sales@vitalsignswalloffame.com to get started. That's sales@vitalsignswalloffame.com. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Tech Tuesday on the Educational AD Podcast. We've got kind of a special episode today. We're going to be talking tech, but we're also going to be sort of combining a little bit of Wednesday wisdom. Our guest today is Lauren Evans, and she's got a tremendous athletic background. She's also, let's say in the last year, become a member of a tech company that will be familiar to our regular listeners. But we want to hear a little bit about Lauren's background, and then we're going to finish up with the tech aspect. So, Lauren, welcome to Tech Tuesday.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, we connected on LinkedIn. I saw your profile and your background, was very intrigued, thought you'd be a great guest for our listeners. So let's go and jump right in. Share, if you can, kind of that quick bio, where you were born, where you grew up, and then, maybe take us up to the high school and college years. So what's the Lauren Evans origin story?
Yeah, so I'm here in Tampa, Florida, born and raised. Went to a private school in Land O'Lakes, Florida. It's called Academy at the Lakes. I was playing softball there, ever since the middle of 8th grade. Since we were a private school, I was able to play up on the high school team. I was fortunate enough to be able to go to the University of South Florida, play softball there all 4 years. And then after that, I ended up playing professionally a little bit over in Italy. And then for the past 10 years or so, I've been on the Great Britain women's national team. So I have dual citizenship through my mom, who was born in England. And so, yeah, I've been playing softball my whole life pretty much. And now I'm in, kind of the tech world, but I'm still involved in athletics, which is awesome. So
Yeah, again, your experience in your career path softball wise, which is very intriguing. Talk a little bit about the small school experience. Now, I was an athletic director for 20 plus years at schools similar to, Academy of Lakes here in Florida. People will say, I don't know who people are, but you can't make Division I, or you can't be successful going to a small school. What was your experience like, and how would you answer that question?
Well, obviously that's not true because, I made it and played, Division I softball. I think that one of the main reasons I ended up going to a smaller private school was just, the educational piece and, being able to have the smaller class sizes and everything like that, get more one-on-one attention, something that benefited me quite a lot. And, I was able to play when I was in 8th grade. up against, seniors in high school. And I think that really helped develop me a lot as a player and as a person. And at least on the softball side of things, the recruitment aspect comes really from travel ball, and your involvement in whatever teams you're on for that. So, it didn't hinder my success at all in getting recruited, still being able to get to, a big school. So
Yeah, again, great points. I'm glad you brought those up. Let's talk a little bit about the college experience. What are some things that stick out for you, and maybe what were some steps that had to occur for you to make that next jump to play professionally?
yeah, so I mean, obviously getting into college in general, a big key, at least for softball, is, getting on campus, going to the camps, sending your emails, going to those big recruiting tournaments. As far as me going to USF, I grew up watching, Coach Erickson and the girls play here in Tampa. So that was always kind of the dream school. And my parents got to watch every single game. So I always wanted to go to USF. And, while I was there, they were really heavy on, career development. We had a program they would set us up with a mentor, and we were able to, whatever path that we wanted to go down as far as career wise, we were able to get set up with a mentor and really see if that's something that you wanted to do. And I think even more now, a lot of colleges are really pushing the career aspect of things, because truly at the end of the day, you are a student athlete, and your main goal there is, to graduate and to have a successful career after that. And so, yeah, it's been a long journey. I graduated college back in 2018. It feels like just yesterday, but it's not. But as far as getting to play professionally, obviously I'm on the Great Britain national team. And so, being in Europe and exposed to the different, teams out there, the Italian league is a pretty big and competitive league. And so I just got approached from one of the coaches after seeing me play, every summer for Great Britain. And they asked if I wanted to go play, and I did. And it was awesome. I mean, it was definitely a culture shock. I was living in an apartment with 6 different Italian girls, and I don't know any Italian. So it was a lot, but it was awesome. I would do it in a heartbeat over again.
Well, again, the image professional athlete just conjures up, so many possibilities.
Mhm.
When was the season? What part of the year were you playing? And maybe, what's one or two experiences besides the apartment that stick out for you?
Yeah, so I got brought on to really play the end of their season. So, I was there from like August to end of October-ish. It's when they have, their big tournaments, and they bring, what they call foreign players over to help them out, basically to win the big tournaments. You know, it was definitely different, I didn't have any transportation, so I either had to walk everywhere, or I had to hope one of my teammates would let me use their bike or hop in the car with them. We had one car. Um, and I can't drive Italian streets. So it was definitely different. And I mean, just being in the culture, everything was so different, so slowed down. The food's a lot more fresh over there. And yeah, it was just really awesome. And when we had off weekends, me and a couple of teammates would, take a quick flight over to Spain and just go for the weekend. So it was awesome.
Let's go and transition a little bit from your experience, playing professionally in Italy to, playing for the British national team. And before I want to ask you a question. And again, I'm a complete dope on international softball. So
Mhm.
I apologize in advance of this question. You played Division 1, the highest level. What was the level of competition for the professional leagues? Was it comparable with Division 1? I mean, did you just go over there as an American and dominate, or how did that all work out?
Yeah, so the Italian league, they're good. I mean, the Italian national team too, they went to the Olympics. Like they have a lot of homegrown talent. And typically they bring in, each team would bring in two, three, four, foreign players to really just round out, their team if they were, missing like a star pitcher or a star first baseman, outfielder, whatever the case may be. But European talent, it's pretty good. It's even our, Great Britain national team, we came second in the European Championships, behind the Netherlands. So yeah, it's definitely growing over there, especially in the UK. It's getting there, but there's a lot of talent, and a lot of those players as well. They come over to the US to play, their college ball, and then they end up going back and competing in the leagues back there as well.
Wow. Let's go and jump to your Great Britain experience. Obviously playing for a national team,
Mhm.
there's, world competition and, the Olympics and all that. So, how did that all develop and where is it right now? Because you're still, in your prime playing years.
Yeah, so it's funny. So, obviously Coach Erickson, he was the USA softball coach for the longest time. And I was a junior in high school and I received a forwarded email from him saying, I guess the Great Britain national team had reached out to him and was trying to grow the program and said, "Hey, do you know of any British players?" And he knew my mom was from England. And so he sent the email over to me. I got in contact with the right people, and I ended up driving up to Georgia with my dad. And we met up with a previous GB coach, and I had like a mini tryout. And obviously, I had to try out every year from that, but
Right.
I've been on the team ever since. And yeah, it's been amazing. I've been really fortunate, and I've had the opportunity to play, to qualify for the Olympics. We didn't quite make it there. We came in second place, but still the experiences that I've had, involved in Great Britain have been tremendous. I've been able to travel, all over the world, Japan, Canada, all over Europe, and make, lifelong friends, and just really have, experiencing all the different cultures and everything like that is something that I keep with me today.
Yeah, those experiences, I think, even as much as the actual athletic experiences, really stick with you down the road. So, what's the
Mhm.
future hold? Olympics coming up here.
Yeah, well, that's the unfortunate thing. Our next Olympics are in 2024 in France, and they decided to take baseball and softball out of the Olympics.
Oh,
So
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so the next possibility won't be until 2028, potentially in LA. I'm assuming it would get back in because obviously it's in America and baseball, softball is huge here, but there's no guarantee for that. So I don't really know what the future holds for me. I kind of last year we went out on a really good high. We came second in European championships. That's the highest medal I've ever gotten. And we turned a lot of heads, and a lot of people didn't expect us really to be there, and they never have. So um I don't know if I'm going to play again. I don't think really I'm at the point where I want to wait until
Mhm.
2028 for the Olympics. That's a long time away. And I'm getting to that age. I'm 26 now, where things are starting to hurt. My body hurts when I wake up. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen just because it is so far away. I think it'd be a different question maybe if it was in France, 2024, but
Mhm.
probably not.
Yeah, I'd completely forgot about that. They took softball and baseball out, and I I don't even want to get into the sports that they're at. It. Oh my goodness,
I
just
know.
just
Break dancing. Who knew?
oh yeah, exactly. You're killing me. And you're 26. He's goodness gracious. Okay, I'm 65. Certainly not ready for any kind of competition, but you're still in pretty good shape.
Thanks.
Um, let Since you opened the door, we're going to go ahead and walk through. Let's go and talk about what you're doing now. You have been in the I hate to say it, the real world, for a while. And we're going to talk about Snap. But, what have been some of your experiences? What are some of the things that you've done to paint that next picture, that next chapter of your career life?
Yeah, and I think once you go through college sports, you get to this point where sport has been your entire life and you don't really know who you are outside of that. And so that is something that I struggle with quite a bit, trying to find the right place in the world that, you're passionate about and something that, you can make a good living off of. And, the way I got into Snap now is one of my teammates for Great Britain had worked with this basically like a recruiting firm that their name is Shift Group. So what they do is they pretty much primarily work with former athletes and they set them up in a job somewhere in tech sales. So right now I'm working for Snap Mobile and I'm a sales development representative and I primarily work for the Snap Manage side of things, which is an athletic development, athletic director management platform.
Yeah, those connections are always so valuable down the road, adding to your network, as we say. As you know, you and I have talked about it. Snap is a sponsor of our podcast,
Mhm.
and they have several different platforms
Right.
available to athletic directors, which is our
Mhm.
primary audience. So maybe if you can give a little bit of a broad brushstroke of Snap,
Mhm.
and then let's talk about Snap, your division of Snap. There, I was able to say that.
Sure. Yeah. So, Snap Mobile as a whole, and one thing that really impressed me once I started learning more about the job is, their goal is to really be kind of the one-stop shop for, any type of athletic administrator, any type of administrator, any type of coach. We have multiple platforms. Obviously, everyone knows us for the fundraising side of things for Snap Raise, but we're so much more than that. And I think that that's what's so impressive to me and the potential there. It's huge. For a school to be able to only work with one company for everything that they ever need, that's invaluable. And so, I work on the Snap Manage side of things. So, like I said, it's the, athletic director management tool. So, we primarily deal with obviously athletic directors. Our product handles like the registration, the roster management. It streamlines communication. We build out an entire athletic website for you. So it really just gives the time back to those athletic directors so that way they can focus on the things that are really important instead of administrative work.
Yeah, I haven't worked directly with the platform, but in talking to people from Snap, like you,
Mhm.
it just sounds so very cool. My coaches at the school where I was the athletic director, we had a couple coaches that used Snap Raise as a fundraiser, and I can
Mhm.
tell you, as an athletic director, it was just great. It was very successful. Our parents
Right.
loved it. The coaches loved it. It was just great. I can't recommend it enough. So,
Mhm.
Lauren, if one of our listeners, and we hope they do, wanted to reach out and pick your brain a little bit about, find out more about Snap or even just about softball, what's the best way that they can get a hold of you?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the easiest, way probably I would say right now is through LinkedIn. It's just Lauren Evans on LinkedIn, or if you guys want to email me, it's lauren.evans@snapraise.com. One thing that I'm really, passionate about is giving back to my community and helping out in any way that I can. So even if it's something softball related, I'd be glad to help. Or if it's, you guys want to know more about Snap Mobile in general and maybe not the managed side of things, feel free to contact me. Like I'll help send you in the right direction or do whatever I can.
No, absolutely. And, for our listeners, wherever you are, but especially our listeners here in Florida, got a great resource right here in Tampa. So, make sure you reach out. Lauren, go and give that email one more time.
Sure. It's lauren.evans@snapraise.com. And so Lauren is LAUREN .Evans. So EVANS at SNAPRAISE.com.
All right. Well, gosh, thanks so much for spending some time with us on Tech Tuesday. I definitely want to get you back for a full interview on the Educational AD podcast. But thanks again and all the best moving forward. Hopefully we'll see you in Nashville.
Yes, thank you so much.
For listeners, remember the Zoom recordings of every interview get uploaded to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We appreciate you listening today. Come back next Tuesday for another tech tip, and just about every day on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Once again, we want to thank you for tuning in to today's Tech Tuesday. And before we go, we do want to thank our sponsors one more time. Final Forms, the industry leader in registration. Gipper, create custom content for your school's social media channel. Snap Mobile and their entire platform, an entire suite of platforms. Huddle, turn your school into a Huddle school. Sidelight Interactive, indoor scoring tables and video boards. Vital Signs, Wall of Fame, touchscreen scoreboards and touchscreen record boards. Hometown Ticketing, the leading digital ticketing provider to schools and colleges. And athletic surveys. If you're not doing surveys of your kids and your parents, you're really missing out. Thanks to all our sponsors. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time on Tech Tuesday.